Hello, everyone, and welcome to the sixth module of Skills for Career Success in Science. And this module is all about networking. Now, this is a pilot module, and this course usually takes place synchronously, and the activities that we do are quite interactive. I am recording this to try to replicate as much as the content as possible, and yet I hope you do get a feel for the flow of it and the activities that we're going to do, in spite of the fact that it is all going to be recorded. Anyway, networking. Let's dive into that. So, an overview of what we're going to tackle today. So, what exactly is networking? And why should I do it? How do I go about it even? And what are some tools and tips for practicing my networking skills that are going to help me be successful in this task? And of course, the most important thing from my perspective in terms of actual rich learning is to actually practice the skills that we've been talking about. Because I think without practice, it's just theory on a page. And really the skills deepen and become much more robust when you have opportunities to practice it. So here are the intended learning outcomes. I don't think I'm going to read them all, but these are the things that we expect you to be able to do when you have completed this module. So what is networking exactly? So networking is really about doing what your mother told you never to do, and that is talk to strangers. But professional networking is really the art of expanding your contacts through the creation and nurturing of alliances. And networking allows you to learn about other people and identify links and commonalities that you may have. And I know it seems like a big, daunting word to many of you, and yet I'll ask you to think of it maybe just as having a conversation or connecting with people. Networking has sort of laden with many kind of read between the line kind of nuances. And for those for whom it does seem like a daunting concept, maybe just think of it as connecting or having a chat. So why would we build our network? What is the big deal about this? Well, through networking, you can discover business and career connections that are going to help you succeed. And since approximately 80% of all jobs are found through networking, it's really a vital component to ensure your professional success. So connections, you're going to need connections wherever you go, into the working world, into professional school, into graduate school. All of you are going to need connections. And the more that you let your connections know what you do, how you do it, and what you might be looking for, the greater the likelihood that opportunities will circle back to you. And thus the opportunities tab. And I think one of the most important things about networking is that sometimes when we are in our undergraduate studies, it's kind of a sprint. I'm in my class, I'm getting my work done, I just want to do it. And sometimes we forget to stop and talk to people. But the thing is, again, it does not matter where your next steps are going to be. You are going to need people to support those next steps, whether it's going into the working world or going into professional school or graduate school. You are going to need references. And the more your references know you, the better they know your work ethic, how you do things, how you manage your time, how you handle stress, the more likely they are to provide a compelling case that you are the right person to take that next step. So networking is a really essential part of what you should be doing in your undergraduate years. So who should be in your network? I have it broken down here into 3 different categories. So depending on the role. So operational, for instance. So operational is people who can help you get things done. And for me, that's my team. It's the academic office. And I'll give you one example, a specific example. If I have a technology problem, for example, I'm supposed to call UTS. I put in a ticket. They send me an email saying, yes, we got it. Somebody will respond in 24 hours. Sometimes I just get a, did you try this? Did you try this? Did you try this kind of email? It's a long and cumbersome process, and often I don't really have the time to go through that frustrating exercise. However, part of my operational network is the fellow we call IT Alex. So I text IT Alex, and Alex will be, whether he's busy or not busy, he will be in touch with me in seconds, literally, sometimes. And he'll say, hang on, I'll be right there. Alex comes in, he asks a couple of questions, he takes over my computer, he does his magic, and it's done, usually within 5 to 10 minutes. So Alex is part of my operational network. He can help me get things done. And so I'm going to invite you to think about my office, the Science, Career, and Co-op Education Office, to be a part of your operational network. We can help you get things done. We can help you with your documents. We can help you with your career exploration. We can help you with interviews. We can help you with graduate school exploration and, all of the things that you're going to need to develop professionally. So then there are personal parts of your network, and these are people who can help you grow personally and professionally. And often you share a common interest or a common goal. And so for me, for instance, it might be the other career managers in the other faculties on campus. It could be for you, it could be maybe your peers, it could be family, it could be senior mentors, it could be anyone with, maybe club members, that kind of thing. So anyone who potentially shares an interest and common goal and knows what you need and where you're going with that and can help you along the way. And then there's strategic, and these are probably higher level kinds of relationships. So I'm going to say that maybe one of my strategic alliances would be with the Dean of the Faculty of Sciences, because if I need something big changed or I'm thinking of doing something, I need support. And so I need to check in with the Dean to start planting the seeds of how we could get this done. And eventually, that can come to fruition. But these are the sort of partnerships that are sort of more high level relationships. So maybe they're people you admire, faculty you admire, and these are people who can help you with your professional growth. Absolutely. So how do you go about building your network? There are so many places where you are going to meet people, talk with people, have conversations. So for instance, there's work. Many of you work to afford your degree. Many of you have volunteer experiences. Experiential education opportunities. So some of you might be entering a co-op program. Some of you might be taking a course that is an applied placement or a research practicum or an internship. And you're probably going to have a supervisor or supervisors. And these are all going to be a part of your network that you're building as you go. So job shadowing is another way. This next point is join anything. It doesn't really matter what you do. Join clubs, join your community, join LinkedIn, join social media groups. The more connections that you make, the richer your professional network will become. Of course, LinkedIn is certainly a way to establish professional connections as well. And then there are your professors, and these are people that you are probably going to be well served if you can include them on your side, because when you come to the time when you need a reference for school or for an opportunity, or you're looking for a volunteer experience in their lab, these are all the places that you want to plant your seeds of interest, who you are, share yourself, open that door a little crack. What are your strengths? What are your skills? And how are you going to show them show them in the context of the opportunity that you're looking at. So I can fully appreciate that networking can be quite a daunting experience for many of you. And so here's some thoughts about building your confidence, because it is all about how confident are you when you approach it. So for instance, you might attend an event, very passive activity, very risk-free. I attend, I listen, I maybe have a coffee, I could chat with somebody if I want, but I don't have to, okay? You can just be completely invisible if you want. And then elevate that risk a little bit. You can participate in events with activities, okay? So maybe there's group work, maybe you have to have a conversation with someone, maybe you collaboratively have to come up with an answer to a problem or a question. Then an even slightly higher risk is to volunteer at these events. So now you're going to have to talk to everybody who walks in the door, right? You're going to have to orient them where to put their coat, where their speakers are, where the food is, whatever's happening. And it gives you a ready-made conversation. So no stress. You don't have to make it up. This is what I need to communicate to people. So again, you're networking, but in a more scripted fashion. Okay, so it's not quite as daunting a task. And then you might even host an event, be in charge of everything, get the speakers, get everything lined up, all the ducks in a row. That's going to take a lot of professional networking to make sure that you have everything ready to go for an event. And then, of course, the highest risk activity, of course, is to be a speaker at one of your events. And so as you can see, as you gradually go up this list and you take higher risk, you increase your level of responsibility. You're also going to ultimately increase your confidence level in this networking activity.